Hello folks, we've got another ZVT, this time both players playing their main race. It's gonna be the yellow Zerg, keviNN. And his opponent, the pink Terran, BBreed. It's gonna be a best of 3, I believe. Now, the last few times these players have met, it's been pretty much domination out of Kevin. However, BBreed has been in the lab the past few days, grinding the ladder, training hard. Maybe he's come up with a solution. We'll have to see. So far, everything pretty standard. Kevin going for a hatchery first. Gonna be now throwing down his spawning pool at a relatively normal timing. Nothing cheesy so far, but I do suspect he will keep his drones in gas, get a quick layer, and perhaps go up to a spire. SCV gonna come on in, gonna verify the build so far, and he doesn't quite see the spawning pool, but he should suspect it. Gonna spot it now, and it's gonna be enough information for him. Gonna back on out. And behind this, we've got a factory going down. Tech lab on the barracks. That is an interesting choice. And he's not making marauders or researching anything, so I do suspect it's going to be a swapperoonie with the factory. And then probably a siege tank, just to get some defense against any Ling flood. And there they go. And yep, siege tank getting started right away. 2 Lings out of Kevin, gonna make their way in to see what they can see. Single Marine, nice pullback micro out of BBreed. Keeps that Marine unscathed. And Kevin gonna be getting a quick layer. Like I said, second gas is already done. Third and fourth should be coming up shortly, if it is gonna be a spire. However, 2 Evo chambers at the front. Now, are those going to be for upgrades, or is it just kind of a wall? Now, third and fourth gases do go down, so it smells like spire. Layer has completed, and oh, never mind. It's going to be a Hydralisk den. So that's odd. 4 gases on 2 bases, not even fully saturated. That's kind of more gas than you really need for a Hydra composition. And still no third out of Kevin. Typically want a third base very soon after your second base as a Zerg player. But Kevin gonna be going for a lurker den now, so now the gases makes a little more sense. The upgrade on the Hydralisks, I guess, as long as you're getting Hydras, that's something you want to get. But lurkers, not too good until they have their hive upgrades, so Kevin should be throwing down an infestation pit as well, going for the hive. Not doing that just yet, but he is starting his third, which bodes well for the longevity of this game. Meanwhile, BBreed has landed his command center. Gonna start getting his wall, and once again, this makes me very nervous because he has no idea what's going on the Zerg side. Doesn't know if there could be lings right outside, and he's kind of just content leaving his door wide open, putting his trust into this one solitary tank who has 2 kills. Must have gotten those 2 Zerglings from earlier. And single Viking out of BBreed. Gonna just be patrolling the map looking for any stray overlords. Some Marines in the main base as well do catch that Overseer, so that's a nice pick off there. And BBreed, he is committing pretty heavily into anti-muta tech, anticipating the Mutalisk out of Kevin, but of course we do not see that happening. Double scan goes down, and it's gonna verify what the composition is out of Kevin. So now BBreed probably regretting these 2 missile turrets. This Thor, I guess Thors are always good, but not exactly what you want against lurkers, at least not a single Thor, not right now. Perhaps more tanks would be better. But BBreed gonna be getting a forward-ish missile turret just in case Kevin decides to burrow lurkers right outside his door. And Kevin has gotten that infestation pit. No hive on the way just yet, however. So these lurkers, they're not going to have the massive range, and they're not going to have the quick burrow. So not really being utilized to their full potential until those upgrades come along. Kevin does have his 3rd base, 4th base as well, although nothing mining from there. So the saturation on this 3rd could be better. Worker count's actually pretty even, all things considered. Once again, as Zerg, you typically want like 70 or 80 or even 90 workers at this point. Kevin's been focusing a lot on his technology and army. Already getting 2-2. Now getting that hive. And BBreed, he is making a lot of supply depots for his wall. That SCV with 2 kills to its name, rivaling that of the siege tank. But of course those 2 were changelings. Another Overseer gonna fly in and get obliterated by all the anti-air in BBreed's base. And now BBreed landing his 3rd. Gonna be dropping mules there. And gonna need to get some more SCVs, which he is doing. Could stand to transfer some from this base as it is slightly oversaturated. And Kevin slightly undersaturated on his 3rd and 4th bases. But hive is now complete. And where are those lurker upgrades? They're not coming just yet. And he's not even getting the other Hydralisk upgrade. That's the movement speed for them, which he definitely should be getting if he intends to have Hydras as part of his composition. but there is the adaptive talons upgrade for his lurkers, and a couple liberators being annoying here. However, Hydra's gonna clean that up lickety split. Only 3 drones lost for, I think that was 3 or 4 liberators. 4 liberators, definitely not worth it. Actually, no, he did get a lurker and 3 hydras, so maybe it was worth it. Now Kevin getting his 3/3 upgrades, getting the adaptive talons that I mentioned, as well as that lurker, that hydra speed that I mentioned as well. And if he's gonna have lings in his army, which he does have some, he should think about the adrenal glands upgrade as well, which increases Zergling attack speed by, I think, 40%, which is quite significant. Now BBreed has fully saturated his 3rd, and we do see him with a worker lead. In fact, that's not something you see every day in this matchup. 63 SCVs to 54, and despite all these bases out of Kevin, he is hardly mining out of them. Only sitting on 54 drones. There's one scouting barracks. You're gonna spot this, I don't know, what is this, the 5th base, I suppose. And BBreed gonna move out with a small squad of units to clear some creep. But Kevin guarding his creep pretty well so far. And does Kevin actually spot this? Yeah, he does spot the edge of BBreed's army with those creep tumors. BBreed gonna be sieging up his liberators. And both players floating a lot of money. Kevin, of course, is maxed, so he gets a pass. BBreed, however, quite short on gas, as he is playing a pretty gas-heavy style, I suppose. Lots of tanks, doors, liberators. And he's gonna be slowly inching up his liberators, which is the wise move. Of course, liberators, being air units, are free to just hang out and blast away at lurkers as they're doing now. Kevin with the Vipers using an abduct. I didn't even know he knew how to do that, but apparently he does. BBreed gonna be trying to inch up once again, but Kevin with another nice abduct, grabbing that liberator, pulling it closer so the Hydras can quickly dispatch of it. And BBreed perhaps doesn't want to stick around, decides to pull back a little bit. 3/3 on his ship weapons coming along. And interesting that he went for the air upgrades, as he does have quite a sizable ground army, lots of tanks, good amount of Marines. However, I don't think he invested anything into the Marines. There's no combat shields. I don't think he has stim either. But Kevin looks like he wants to make a move. He broke down the rocks, gonna barrel forward, and how is this gonna go? Blinding clouds get cast, some yoinks going down on the liberators, but you do not want to engage that many tanks head on. Heavy losses from both sides, but I think that favors the Terran just a little bit. So we take a look at the units lost, Yeah, definitely more loss out of our Zerg player. So BBreed just needs a couple more engagements like that. Kevin is quite rich, but he cannot afford to have too many more engagements like that, as once again his worker count is very low. Sitting on a lot of resources, however, so he still can afford to remax maybe 2 or 3 times. Inject's bit lacking. So these queens sitting on a lot of energy. And what is the... Ooh, nice counterattack here. Well, not really a counterattack, rather a attack, or a run-by, if you will, on this new base out of BBreed. Just a handful of lings getting 16 SCV kills. That's going to put Kevin back in the lead in the worker count. But BBreed very diligent with his SCV production. 4 in production currently. And now he is back up in workers. Don't forget he also has mules. In fact, no planetaries. Typically, Terran players tend to get planetaries for their 4th or 5th base. But we don't see that out of BBreed, so he's going to have a lot of scans, a lot of mules. And that's going to help in terms of economy. Look at all those mules. And scanning the location of those lurkers. Now Kevin moving in for an attack. BBreed's army is not all here. And this could be a huge opportunity for Kevin, as we do see a lot of tanks up there. And more yoinks going down on the Thors, on Liberators. Look at that, yoink! And now all the tanks are gone, all the major threat units are gone, so Kevin gonna be comfortable to move up, siege his lurkers in range of the base, and look how quickly that base goes down. BBreed scrambling to gather his army, 2 tanks in the back, dishing out major damage, but is that gonna be enough? I feel like Kevin could just force his way through. He's got so much money, he doesn't really need to care about this. But another line of tanks in the back. Now Kevin cannot engage this. These are the ones that were up here previously. So Kevin gonna back up just a little bit, morph some more Hydras, and this is a golden opportunity for BBreed. Sieging his Liberators, gonna pick off a lot of these morphing lurkers. So very nice there. Kevin perhaps a little overzealous, morphing all those lurkers right in BBreed's face. Another 2 lurkers, not sure what they were doing. But army supply and supply in general getting pretty close, until Kevin is just starting 18 more Hydras. But BBreed with a sizable bank of his own, lacking in gas, however. He is mining gas here. He needs something to dump those minerals in. Oh no, 2 tanks getting donated for free. But maybe some more factories to produce Hellions or Hellbats, which can be good just as like a buffer, a meat shield. Just have those Hellions and Hellbats in the front to soak up the damage, to protect your more valuable tanks, Thors. And yeah, he is getting some Hellbats, so nice job there out of BBreed, recognizing he needs to spend his minerals somewhere. But still, I wouldn't mind seeing a few more factories, maybe even swapping a factory onto a reactor. Either way. And now, BBreed trying to re-establish this 4th/5th base, and gonna float his main over to another base. And now Kevin, he is maxed out, so as a Zerg, you kind of want to just throw your units at your opponent when you're maxed with a huge bank like this, because it's easier for the Zerg to remax. And it looks like that's what Kevin's doing. A lot of Hydras. Hydra's not the best unit by themselves. They are very squishy. They only have 90 HP. But, oh no, 5 tanks just bumming around unsieged. Gonna get massacred. I don't know what they were doing. Just slacking off. They need to go back to siege tank school. Too bad they can't because they're dead. And now Kevin is assaulting this base. BBreed trying his best to defend, but a lot of tanks not really doing anything. Now as Kevin moves closer, they will. But is it too late? There just doesn't seem to be enough Terran. This one tank on the high ground gonna be an MVP, but will it even matter? Some Liberators siege up right next to the Hydras. That's not a good idea. 2 more tanks in the back here. Gonna get a couple shots off. But there's just so much Zerg right now. Kevin completely dwarfing BBreed's army. And this has got to be it. Scan goes down just to verify how much stuff Kevin has. But even if BBreed were to somehow clean this up, which he might, tanks are pretty strong. Kevin with another 19 Hydras behind this, still got a ton of resources in the bank. This one lurker still alive. Well, not any longer. But Kevin more than doubling BBreed's supply. 48 drones to 18 SCVs. Very low worker count from both parties. But it doesn't even matter. Now all these reinforcements out of Kevin gonna morph a bunch more lurkers. And BBreed still sticking around, being a warrior, showing his grit. But make no mistake, folks, this is over. And I think I saw, yeah, he got Yamato cannon, but I didn't see a single battle cruiser this game. Indeed, there have been no battle cruisers made, no battle cruisers lost. I'm not sure what that was for. BBreed looks like he's just gonna try to make some more tanks, but he is down 100 supply. Kevin could roll out and end this anytime he chooses. He's got a lot of bases. There's creep swallowing more than half the map. And BBreed, he's only at 102 supply. His bank that he once had has almost entirely been depleted. Kevin kind of just dragging it out at this point. Maybe making a statement. He's got... what does he got? 15 lurkers, 36 Hydras, 3 Vipers, 7 Queens, which are not injecting. Alright, this one looks like it injected once or twice. But yeah. Looks like this game gonna stretch on just a little bit longer, but BBreed is really grasping at straws here. Looks like he's trying to make his last stand, moving out with a few tanks. Not too much supporting those tanks, however. Only 9 Marines. He has 14 total. Not sure where the others are. Guess they're rallying forward. And another yoink goes down on the Liberator as its parts float up into the surface. And Kevin trying to move up with his Hydras by themselves, which is not a great idea. They get massacred by the siege tanks, but it doesn't really matter as he just remaxes right away, right back up to 200. Now a few Marines and tanks gonna go for this. I don't even know what number base this is, like 8th or something out of Kevin. It's ridiculous. He has so many bases. He doesn't even care. He put down these distractors, not even using them. And base might go down. Yeah, it doesn't look like Kevin has any intention to save it. So the base does go down. A very, very minor victory there out of BBreed. And Kevin showing a lot of respect to this pretty weak Terran army. But it looks like he's decided now's the time. Gonna move forward into the Liberator zone, into siege tank fire. And he's just gonna barrel forward, take out this small force at the bottom, and he's gonna keep on trucking, moving on to this 5th or 6th or whatever Terran base. Once again into the line of fire. He doesn't even care anymore. Hydralists dying by the dozens, but once again Kevin with his massive bank gonna just start up another 28 Hydras. But he does have to start being a little careful. I think he's depleted almost all of his larvae, and his bank is not quite what it once was. And once again, Hydras by themselves, not that great. You do want something in the front to soak up damage. Usually it's lings, maybe roaches. But now, remaxed once again, another 19 Hydras on their way. And all of a sudden, Kevin's bank down to sub 1,000 minerals. But his army supply is still sizably larger than BBreed's. But he cannot afford to take those super sloppy trades any longer. Gonna regroup his units and maybe move out once again. And oh, not the best angle. Taking a lot of fire just walking over there. And he is gonna engage. And look how much damage those Hydras are taking, but blinding clouds do go down on the tanks, and finally cleaning all those up. Some more tanks down here doing their best, but they're gonna get demolished as well. And I think finally this might be it. That's Kevin with his 170 supply to BBreed's 82. Going for another base here. Some more siege tanks doing their best, but similar to Hydra, siege tanks need stuff in front of them. And a few siege tanks get abducted or misrallied. And GG does get called. And after 30 minutes, Kevin is going to take game number 1. Here we are, game number 2 in this series. Currently leading with the 1-0. It's our yellow Zerg, keviNN. And putting up a valiant fight in game number 1, but ultimately succumbing to the Hydra Lurker Viper army. It's our Terran player, BBreed. So we saw something a little bit different out of Kevin. Hydras and Lurkers, which we don't see all too often. He's typically either a Lingbane guy or a Muta guy. But Kevin's showing us he can do more, not just a one-trick pony. And BBreed, perhaps anticipating Muta's last game, committed a fair amount, I would say, to the anti-air that never came. And then his reaction to Lurkers, which was mostly tanks. I don't think it was an awful decision, but he does need stuff to protect his tanks. Once again, scouting just to verify that Kevin's not doing anything too crazy, which he is not. BBreed, however, did get a fast double gas. He's getting a tech lab once again. So gonna go for the Swapperoonie. Most likely gonna get a siege tank once again. And Kevin will have to wait and see what he does, but he is still mining gas as he usually do. First two Zerglings gonna pop out. Is he gonna go for a fast layer again, or is he gonna drop a Baneling nest? First queen has finished. And he does have the money for a layer. Is it gonna go down? Yes, it does. In the natural, however. Two Zerglings fighting this one Marine. And some nice micro out of Kevin, gonna keep both Zerglings alive. Good job there, and now they can run up and start nibbling at this tech lab. It's gonna take them a while to kill that. Siege tank gonna pop out shortly, and it should be able to defend. And it does. Still quite annoying, as BBreed is going to have to repair that tech lab up. And gases 2, 3, and 4 coming down, but it's going to be Roach Warren. Interesting. Once again, Kevin showing that he's not just a Muta boy. And is it going to be some kind of Roach Ravager attack? Oh, Burrow starting, actually. So maybe a Burrow movement, Roach all in. Could be interesting. BBreed, once again, his scouting quite lackluster. This is why Terran players normally start with the Reaper, and then they try to keep the Reaper alive for as long as possible so it can jump in a little bit later for some follow-up scouts. Did not see that this game out of BBreed. He does have his second command center in the high ground. Gonna be morphing that to an orbital. And Kevin getting his third at the triangle location. There's a lot of debate among Zerg players. What's the better third to go for? This line formation or this triangle formation? And I don't think there's a clear answer. Some people favor one over the other. The drawback of this space is if a Terran goes for drops, they can drop the third here and then pick up and drop the main, and it takes a while for Zerg units to run back and defend both locations. Now a handful of Hellions gonna roll on in, try to get some damage. They are greeted by a handful of roaches, which is quite unfortunate. But, ooh, lining up. Are they going to get those juicy shots? 11 drones going down, 12. 12 drones going down for, how many Hellions was that? 8 Hellions. I don't know if that was worth it, but that was decent damage. Now, Kevin has fallen down to 32 drones. BBreed sitting on 26, and Nidus going down. Does BBreed spot this? He does, but no reaction. Oh no, this is gonna be bad as BBreed just doesn't have stuff in position to defend. Roach is gonna spill out into the Terran base. BBreed microing his heart out, keeping that Thor alive, which is nice. But Burrow going down, and BBreed, does he have a scan available? No, it doesn't look like he does. Oh, what a disaster. Now these roaches gonna heal up and gonna pop right back out, do some more damage, and then go back underground. Super annoying out of Kevin. And they do have the burrow movement as well, so he's gonna go right under the Terran army and pop up. Oh no! And then just right back down, sharking along. Scan finally goes down, so is going to be able to spot those roaches, but is it too little, too late? Tank on the low ground. Not going to be able to do enough. Desperately trying to get the repair down, but not going to be able to out-repair the damage of this many roaches. And now it's open season for these SCVs. 13 have gone down so far, and BBreed's base is in shambles. The Nidus still alive. SCVs trying to go back to work, but they are in grave danger. A couple Widow Mines. Gonna get a single roach. And GG gets called. Kevin's gonna take the 2-0. Alright, welcome back folks. We are loaded into another game. Now, I don't know if this should be considered a continuation of the series because our Terran player, Kevin Lee, has won the best of 3 and now they are playing off race. It's a TVP, and our Protoss player, who normally mains Terran, is BBreed. So I'm just gonna say 2-0 anyways, put it on the scoreboard. But as far as the original series is concerned, Kevin has already won. Now they're playing off race. I don't think BBreed has ever played Protoss. Or maybe he's at least tried it, but I don't know if he knows what he's doing. Kevin has played this a few times, and he has gotten some victories against Timbo. So, in terms of experience, I would favor Kevin quite a bit. Probe Scout and coming along. Gonna be able to spot not a whole lot, as Kevin has walled up the front of his to be natural, and he is getting a Reaper out of that first barracks. BBreed Cybernetics Core only about halfway done, so he's still quite a bit away from a Stalker. So are we going to see this Reaper get massive damage? As it is making its way across the map, gonna hop in soon. Cybernetics Core has finished, but no Stalker being started out of BBreed, and this Reaper gonna have free reign over the Protoss base. Gonna get that first probe that was trying to make a base. And BBreed floating a lot of minerals already. 2 minutes 40 seconds into the game, and he is sitting at over 1,000 minerals. He does not know what to do. He's chrono boosting a Stalker, but 4 probes have gone down. 5, 6, and the Reaper's gonna get away. This is a disaster. If this was a pro game, the Protoss would have left already. But he is going for a proxy Stargate, which might somehow get found out by this Reaper. And is this where it's going? Oh man, everything going wrong for BBreed. And yes, he did spot that. LOL going down out of BBreed, recognizing the terrible situation he's in. Meanwhile, Kevin getting his factory, getting a starport, getting an armory. Not really gonna have anti-air though, so maybe a Void Ray could do a lot of damage. Chrono Boost going down. Is this Reaper gonna be able to kill this pylon in time? BBreed does have a shield battery, but shield batteries do not automatically heal pylons, so you do need to micro just a little bit. Oh, but the Stalker with the assist gonna come in and get it. And now the Void Ray is done. There's no anti-air out of Kevin. This is BBreed's opportunity. He needs to go. He needs to go now. Oh, but what is he waiting for? Void Ray gonna go in now, finally. Gonna find this siege tank. Gonna get that real quick. Gonna get an SCV maybe? Marine, okay, that's something. Another SCV. But now the Cyclone is ready, and Cyclones deal a lot of damage. BBreed gonna have to back up to his shield battery, which he does. Nicely done there. Heals up that Void Ray, and second Void Ray gonna come out. That's gonna be huge, and he needs to go right now while Kevin doesn't have a lot of anti-air. But BBreed waiting just a little bit too long. Back at home, not really starting any other tech. He does have his second base, which is nice, and getting an Oracle. I don't know about that choice. I think just fully commit to Void Rays. Kevin doesn't really know what to do. And BBreed, once again, he should be going right now. He should have gone 20 seconds ago. But he's just waiting, and he's allowing Kevin to get more stuff. Engineering bay almost complete, and that's gonna open the door for missile turrets, so BBreed's window is closing. Marines ready as well. Liberators, they can do anti-air, but their anti-air damage is so low. And these Void Rays still relatively uncontested. Gonna get another siege tank, and now things are getting interesting. BBreed does have an Oracle, and he's getting another one, not sure why. I don't know if he even knows how to activate the Oracle beam, but if he does, that could be a good way to just beam down these SCVs. Now Kevin has a Thor, he has morphed it into high impact payload mode. Look how quickly it does damage to air units. It crushes that Oracle single-handedly. Repair going down on the Thor to keep it alive, but 3 Void Rays, quite a formidable force. Still gotta be careful of that Thor though, and once the second one comes out, I think that's gonna be too much. But 3 Void Rays with their prismatic alignment also do a lot of damage. Beam down that Thor by himself. Don't know why they weren't together. Bit of a misstep from Kevin, and now BBreed 4 Void Rays. He has a chance, and he's asking what's the upgrade for air units. Kevin saying Forge question mark. That is not the correct answer. It's Cybernetics Core that allows you to get air upgrades. 4 Void Rays healed up by shield batteries. And Kevin doesn't really have enough, but he does have missile turrets coming down. Missile turret's going to protect the edge of his base, and a Thor as well, so that's going to be helpful. Void Ray count up to 5. Now producing them 2 at a time. Still has this Oracle that hasn't really done much. Now up to 7 Void Rays. And Kevin, he has been forced to turtle up. Look at this line of missile turrets he is making. He's getting Thors. Both players on pretty even worker count. A single Cyclone, not sure how it got there, but causing havoc in the Protoss base, forcing the entire fleet, no, not the entire fleet, but 4 Void Rays to go home to deal with it. 6 probes for its troubles. It was a good move by Kevin, and maybe he could have used that opportunity while the Protoss army was split to try to push out. But I don't know if he even has enough stuff. The army supply is favoring the Terran player, the Protoss player, 49 to 34. And that's a lot of Void Rays, not enough anti-air out of Kevin. He doesn't even have an orbital on his second base. Marines trying to move out, but that's not enough Marines, and too many Void Rays. And there goes about half of Kevin's anti-air. Now, this air fleet out of BBreed, 10 Void Rays making their way into the Terran base, activating their prismatic alignment. And not gonna feel comfortable to fight those Thors. And BBreed, perhaps not knowing that you can cancel prismatic alignment, does lose a lot of Void Rays unnecessarily over there. Of course, that ability does allow Void Rays to do more damage against armored units. Armored units such as Thors. Or I think even Liberators are armored. However, it reduces their movement speed. But it can be cancelled. So if things are getting too hot, you can cancel that ability and allow your Void Rays to fly away quicker. And speaking of Void Ray speed, BBreed perhaps doesn't know about the Fleet Beacon and the upgrade it contains, allowing the Void Rays to fly faster. And so these Void Rays kind of slow. They are going to beam down one missile turret there. Going to beam down this starport that was built a little too close to the edge there. Now Kevin with 3 Thors. Looks like he wants to try to move out a little bit. Couple SCVs still with minerals in hand. Gonna repair up these Liberators, which he is gonna siege and kill that Stalker real quick. Does lose 1, 2 Void Rays, 2 Liberators rather, and just a lot of Void Rays out of BBreed. Now he is going for the fight in range of his shield batteries, getting a couple more Liberators, getting some damage on the Thors. I think he did pick off another Thor there. And Kevin forced to be very defensive, still stuck on 2 bases, still stuck on 35 SCVs. Meanwhile, BBreed has his 3rd base. He is getting his 4th base as well, doing a pretty decent job at spending his money. A lot of gas, but can't fault him too much for that. Scan goes down to verify that BBreed has a 3rd. And Kevin has got to be wondering how he got here. He does have experience playing Terran a little bit, and I don't think he ever expected to be in this position, especially not after his initial Reaper was able to get, I think it was 6 probes. But very nice job out of BBreed to get himself back into the game and even in the lead right now. And Kevin just going for more Thors and Liberators, but look at this fleet of Void Rays. 11 of them. And another Reaper? Kevin gonna try to use a Reaper to even the field just a little bit. I don't see how much damage this could possibly do. But it is gonna be annoying. BBreed gonna go back with his lone Oracle, which somehow found himself 4 kills. Reaper gonna get 3, 4 kills of his own. This Oracle activating its beam, gonna dispatch of that Reaper finally. And now Kevin with, how many Thors is that? 6 Thors. That's a respectable number of Thors. And 3 Liberators. But the problem is 11 Void Rays. Carriers even on the way. 2 more Stargates back at home. And another Oracle being made. Not sure if that's a mistake or what, because gotten a few of those, but they have not been too useful. Now Kevin moving out with his Thors, gonna try to break this position, and I think these Thors are in their regular mode, doing a ton of splash damage, and gonna clean up this position finally. These 2 carriers not gonna complete, and all of a sudden things are shifting. BBreed still has his Stargates at home. Another Reaper comes in, only to find 2 cannons. And now Kevin with his Thor army, these big clunky transformers. Looks like he wants to try to make a move, maybe recognizing that BBreed's air army not too powerful just yet. Maybe he won't have enough to contend with this many Thors. And he might be right. This Liberator getting 8 kills. Now the Thors have arrived. Thor is here. And what does BBreed have? Not a whole lot. 2 carriers and 3 Void Rays. He's going to need more than that. 4th base is going to go down, and BBreed, you got to be careful. You don't want to take this fight prematurely. You want to wait for more carriers if you can, but Kevin's going to force the issue. SCV's even here to repair, and this is really dicey now. The momentum has shifted once again. Now it is in Kevin's favor. Kevin with his 6 stores at BBreed's base. And BBreed doesn't want to wait. Gonna go for the engagement with his 3 carriers and 3 Void Rays. Is that gonna be enough? SCV's doing their best to repair. Void Rays need to activate their prismatic alignment, but they do not do so. But I think Kevin making the same mistake as BBreed did yesterday, not morphing his Thors into their high impact payload. So they were just tickling the air army of BBreed. It worked out for him here because the Void Rays were very clumped up, and Kevin, maybe a little frustrated, says, "There's no way you never played Protoss before." Maybe he's a bit baffled, flabbergasted if you will, how he can be losing this game. This 3rd base gonna start getting attacked by the 2 Void Rays. Carriers a little bit slower, but they have all arrived. Carrier has arrived. But as quickly as they arrive, they're gonna turn back around and just hang out in the middle of the map. 3 Thors out of Kevin. Another one back here. Not really gonna be enough to do a whole lot, but Kevin is quite starved for resources. Needs to reestablish his 3rd base, throwing down a lot of missile turrets. That's definitely what he needs with his 2k minerals. Wouldn't mind seeing 5 or more missile turrets on top of this, because he just has so many minerals. And definitely needs to start mining gas ASAP. BBreed with 6 carriers, however, it's getting real scary, making them 5 at a time. Holy moly, he's sitting on, I don't know, what is that? He's sitting on 2-2, getting his +3 for his air army. And he's going to be rotating around, going to spot this 4th out of Kevin. Going to be able to deny that really quickly. A couple Liberators and Vikings trying to defend, but that's nowhere near enough. Thors with their slow, clunky butts gonna try to join the party, but they're just so slow, and the air army has now repositioned to the 3rd once again. Interceptors gonna try to deal with the missile turrets, but there's just so many of them, and the repair is good as well. But the supply tells the story. 157 to only 81. And BBreed reestablished his 4th, reestablished his natural. And he's got so many carriers. 11 carriers. He can end this game if he wants to. He has more carriers than Kevin has Thors. Kevin desperately needs another base. Needs to get more gas to support his Thor habits. Only 6 Thors. And BBreed just chilling. He's just playing a single player right now, experimenting with the Protoss campaign. He's never played this before. He wants to see what this Golden Armada is all about. He doesn't want to end this too quickly. He wants to get some more minutes under his belt. Scan going down from Kevin. Not sure what this scan was about, but gonna verify that this base is up once again. Gonna verify that this space is still up, and gonna verify that this base is coming along as well. So Kevin should absolutely know that he is super far behind. And BBreed still waiting, still biding his time. Doesn't quite want to fight just yet. But make no mistake, once he decides it's time to go, it will be time for Kevin to go. And I don't know how many interceptors that is. It is close to 1 billion. And these Buzzy Bees just gonna destroy the Terran army and base very quickly. BBreed respecting the army just a little bit, pulls back and then attacks once again, and GG gets called. BBreed is going to take a very decisive PVT.